Everyday Therapy, where every day we get to talk about therapy and realize, hey, I can use this stuff all the time. And we hope that's been the case for you and that you are sharing this with other people. Today, we're going to be continuing with distress tolerance and those times when we are super upset.
Yeah.
And our emotional intensity is at 8, 9, 10. And there's really two aspects of distress tolerance skills that we're teaching.
Mm-hmm.
One is to accept reality. We're going to get into that starting next time. How do we accept reality? Because when we are in distress tolerance, our emotions are super intense. It's because reality blows. I hate reality right now, and it's really ticking me off. And we got to learn how to accept it. And some people, I can hear it already. They're groaning. Like, what do you mean accept it? Like, if it blows, shouldn't
change
I
it?
Reject it. Yeah. Change it.
This is, go ahead.
Yeah. So we'll get to that. Hold on.
Just hold on to your hats.
So we'll talk about that next week. But really, we're finishing up the skills that help us to not act impulsively and to just kind of stop so that we don't do things we're going to regret. Because when we are at 8, 9, 10, none of us think rationally. We're super vulnerable. So today, we are talking about that last skill to help us in this area. And it's an acronym, of course.
We love our acronyms.
This one is called Improve the Moment. IMPROVE.
Okay.
We're going to go through this super helpful stuff again.
Okay, good. And easy to remember when it spells a word.
Yeah, well, usually, yeah. But hopefully that'll be the case for people here. And we're going to start with the first one is imagery.
Ooh.
So when we're super stressed out, imagery can be really helpful for us. And what I like about this is notice, don't need a lot of resources, and notice how easy it is for us to empower ourselves.
So does this mean imagery in my mind? Like I come up with an image in my mind? Because last time we talked about using our 5 senses, one of them being sight.
Yeah.
So
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Thank you.
It can be in our mind. It cannot.
Either one. Okay.
Yeah. Imagery is so powerful because actually the body and the brain can't necessarily always distinguish real from imagined. So when we are doing this in the mind, it's as effective as if it's real. And we know that from doing our EMDR episode. We talked about EMDR and we talked about visualization and resourcing clients.
Yep.
So we do this even in trauma treatment. And when we're at high levels of emotion, sometimes we're being triggered by past traumas.
Sure.
So visualization in just, visualizing something, super helpful and very practical.
Nice.
And super empowering.
Yeah.
And isn't that cool? Because, I don't know about you, when I'm at an 8, 9, 10, I feel anything but empowered. Part of the reason I'm in an 8, 9, 10 is because I'm feeling powerless.
Yes. Exactly.
So an important thing to remember, we do have an option.
So you could picture a scene that calms you. You could picture like sitting in nature. You could picture being on vacation, being on the beach.
Yes.
Anything.
Yes.
Anything you want.
And notice what can happen with this is it's images in the form of memories that can actually put us into 8, 9, 10.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? We can have a flashback to something traumatic, and boom, I snapped. Hey, I haven't done my snapping in a while.
I know.
But it can take us right back to that traumatic memory, and just as our that imagery took us back to that, it can get us out of it.
Right.
So imagery can be all these things, and when we do EMDR, trauma treatment, we encourage people to do some visualization with their safe place.
Exactly.
A place that they really feel comfortable and secure and safe, and just to visualize that. So
perfect.
It is super powerful.
Good. What else we got? What's the M?
M is one of my favorites.
Okay.
Meaning.
We said it at the same time.
We did. Yes. I wonder what that means.
Exactly.
But that's what we do.
Right.
Because we are constantly looking for meaning.
We're meaning-making machines.
We are.
Triple M.
Yes, we are. We are. But people do sort of make observations about reality of things going on, and then they'll ask, so I wonder what that means.
Oh, yeah.
What does it mean that this happened? I wonder what it means this. Or people tell us, well, he didn't call you back because you know what that means.
Or he didn't text you back for 2 hours.
Yeah.
What?
So that means this. And we're searching for meaning all the time. And we are meaning-making machines,
yes.
as you said.
Sometimes to our great detriment.
Yeah, because that's part of what it is to be human. Mm-hmm. We need to have meaning. Even when there's no meaning, just think about how distressing that is.
Right. When things seem meaningless.
Yes.
Then it just seems random and chaotic and terrible sometimes.
Yeah. We have a hard time living without any sense of meaning. It's been said we can live a certain amount of time without water, without food, without air. But like some people have said, without hope, you can't last at all.
Whoa.
It's very immediate how our tolerance, our intolerance for living without hope. And what is hope? Hope is meaning.
Such a good point.
Yeah, it really is. So we look for it. Now I always think the funny example for me is just observing our behavior collectively. What did we do? COVID happened. Remember
yeah.
COVID? Yeah.
What? COVID?
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah, heard of it.
So COVID happens.
Yeah.
And we kind of know what it is, but we didn't know where it came from. We didn't know for sure. We didn't know a lot. Mm-hmm. So we searched for meaning, and somehow we said, we found some sort of meaning, and it led to what? Deal with COVID by buying tons of toilet paper, right? I mean,
that was not what I thought.
Well, you don't, right?
No, it's so true. But
nobody would have predicted it.
Right. But no, you're right. That was a way that we were making meaning. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So this is how I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to go buy toilet paper. Oh, yeah. Great idea. Me too.
Yep. I actually have another example of this, and I'll be brief. But yesterday after work, I went out to my car, and it did not turn over at all. Like it was dead.
Oh.
So I had plans that I needed to go. I was heading from work to plans with a friend. And this friend had reached out to me earlier in the day and said, like, I'm really having a rough time. Like, I'm struggling. Can you, like, let's do something together. Yes. So now I'm like, oh no, like I'm stuck at work. I can't go and see my friend who like specifically asked to spend time with me. Right.
Yes.
So, what ended up happening is I was going to like get a tow and it was going to take hours and, get my car towed and all that. Cause I tried to jump in and it wouldn't even jump.
Okay.
Jump start. So, turns out this friend, knows how to change a car battery.
Oh, wow.
So she came to me and we went and bought me a new car battery and she showed me how to put it in. And it ended up being just this lovely thing. And she said, you know what? I really feel better that like I helped. Like I did something helpful and like it really lifted her spirits. And like, So my point is I went through all the stages of like shock when my car was having this issue and worry and all that stuff. But ultimately finding meaning in it was like the best part, right? Because I was like, this was like kind of meant to be, It
was meant to be.
Yeah. So when you were saying that, it reminded me of like how quickly I found meaning in that.
And it's almost reflexive.
It's reflexive. Yeah. Absolutely.
We just go there. And so when we think about this and trying to survive a really vulnerable time, meaning is super helpful because not only our intolerance for lack of meaning, how powerful it is for us when we find it. And a good example, a book by Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. He's a Holocaust survivor. And as he survived the Holocaust, he wrote his book, Man's Search for Meaning. And he found, even in the midst of that horrific, traumatic event in his life, he found meaning, and it helped him to survive it.
Yes.
And really, when you think about trauma and resolving trauma in therapy, that's what it's all about. It's taking that initial meaning and understanding things differently. It doesn't mean we think happy thoughts and just throw it under the rug, but we have new meaning and understanding about ourselves and about our world. And holy cow, I can not only just find a way to survive this, I might even find a sense of peace and serenity too. So that's why I love the meaning one.
Yes. I can see why that one's one of your favorites.
Oh, totally. It means a lot to me. So now let's go into the next one. P's for prayer.
Okay.
Prayer.
Another good one.
Prayer. Yeah, you got to pray just to make it today. MC Hammer really didn't know he was talking about distress tolerance, right? But, those words of MC just really kind of ring true when we are...
In the words of the poet, MC Hammer.
The theologian, MC Hammer.
Yes.
Yeah, but there is some truth in it. And there's a lot of more and more studies that are coming out that show people who pray actually have a lot of more resilience in life. And it's incredibly effective to deal with things. Because what are we talking about? And this kind of bleeds into that other area of distress tolerance, of accepting reality. When I'm praying, I am sort of I'm assuming a position of powerlessness and depending upon something more powerful than myself.
Exactly.
And so, again, it's super empowering when we're feeling anything but empowered.
Right. One note on that before we move to the next one is people might say, well, I don't practice a religion. And we're not talking about religion. Prayer doesn't have to be in the context of, only in the context of a church. It can be, but you can pray anytime, and you don't have to be in a certain religious, practice, right?
Right.
So I always point that out because I think people might hear that word and have baggage about that word prayer and think oh, this is religion. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
And
it's a spiritual practice.
That, I think, of the 12-step program.
Yes, exactly.
Even though it was devised by Christians and from the Bible, so many people really resonate with that serenity prayer. Lord, grant me, I always forget.
The serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
It just resonates with people, and so it's super helpful. I also think, I do think of the Psalms, not just because I was a pastor for 20 years, but I think what I like about the Psalms is, think about it. I mean, these are ancient writings, and a third of those are laments.
Right.
And it's people lamenting, and there's such raw emotion there that are timeless, that just reading those and know, wow, this has been something people have struggled with for, centuries, over 2,000 years, people have struggled.
Yep.
And that's so validating to know I'm not alone. Right.
It goes to the core of what it means to be human.
Yeah. And and so those Psalms, really what they are prayers. And so I always encourage people to go there for that reason too.
Good. That's also a P. So you could say prayer or Psalms.
Or Psalms, right.
Psalms, right?
Okay. All right. Speaking of Psalms, let's go to the R. How's that for a transition?
Hey, let's do this.
Let's do some relaxation.
Are you serious? Nope. I shouldn't have said that.
That's totally okay.
Okay, relaxation.
Yes. So, time travel's real, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We've talked about that before.
Yep.
On the podcast. And we do this on occasion by living in the past or living in the future. And we know the effect time travel has upon us, right?
Right.
We go to the past and we feel depressed. We go to the future.
Feel anxious.
We feel anxious. So
let's call the whole thing off.
Yeah, right. So, and we know there's such thing as anticipatory anxiety too when we go into the future. Yeah. And so we spend about 47% of our time in the past or in the future, meaning we are very rarely in the present moment. And relaxation brings us back to the present moment, gets us rooted or grounded again. And so finding ways to really relax. And what it does is it also promotes resistance. Resistance to these behaviors that we end up regretting later. If we can learn to relax.
As we're sitting here, I was like, well, maybe I can practice this right now. I was like, what if I just relax my shoulders? And then I was like, what if I just relax my face?
Yeah.
You can do it. It's easy.
Super simple. We just don't think of it.
Exactly.
We're going at such a breakneck speed. We don't really slow down enough to think about relaxing. I encourage people to go and listen to our episode that we did on mindfulness. And I think we actually practiced mindfulness in that episode too.
We did.
Somebody kind of walked us through that.
Right.
And it doesn't take long.
Doesn't take long.
3 minutes of just breathing feels like an eternity, and yet it's only 3 minutes and incredibly effective.
Perfect.
So relaxation, I think we know what it means, and yet we don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we're always saying we're going to relax. But we're always talking about it like, I'm going to relax.
Yes.
So we like to, I'll just speak for myself. I was going to say, I will say, I just need some time to relax. But it's a lot of me talking about relaxing and not actually relaxing.
Yes.
So relaxing starts right now. It has to be right now.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this one could be like, relax right now.
Right.
Not later.
Nobody can tell you how to relax.
Right.
And
no one can tell you what to do.
yeah, nobody likes to be told. You just need to
Relax. Oh my gosh, right?
So,
when someone else suggests it, you're like, well, now I'm not going to.
yeah, that's right.
On principle.
You, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that.
Yeah, right.
I'm not saying
all right.
just relax, and yet I am.
Right.
So we do need to do this. It's super important because of what we just talked about. We're not really rooted in the present. Relaxation gets us there. And so deep breathing is really helpful for us, doing some of that visualization, whatever we talked about with the imagery. And whatever floats your boat. Some people like to go for a walk. Some people like to be in nature. Some people like to
listen to music.
Watch things that make them laugh.
Just now I was like, how would a very relaxed person behave or act? So you could even act as if. That might be a cheat from another skill.
That is another skill.
Yeah. But pretending like you're playing a relaxed person on TV or in a play.
Fake it till you make it.
Right. I always think of the dude from The Big Lebowski.
I haven't seen it, but I want to see it.
Okay. Yeah. So that's your homework.
Is he the dude that was walking around in the bathroom all the time?
Yes.
He looked totally chill.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's his whole thing is he just is whatever. Yeah. It's great.
No, I think that's really important. And I would just add this little important caveat.
Yes.
Don't apologize for how you relax.
Okay. I won't.
Whatever floats your boat, whatever works for you, do it. Right. And don't apologize for it. And sometimes you might need to take a break from you're in a gathering or something and you're getting really stressed out.
Yep.
Unapologetically, just leave.
Yeah.
Leave for 5 minutes.
Good call.
Go and we're going to talk about this in a little bit, take a little vacation. So we'll...
Oh, spoiler alert.
That. Yeah, spoiler alert. But let's move on to the O.
Okay, what's the O?
The O stands for one thing in the moment. Or in other words, that's kind of that mindfulness. And what mindfulness does is it helps us be rooted in the now. I can't change tomorrow, and I have any control over the future. Mm-hmm. I can't control over right now and how I'm going to respond to things. And so that's what O stands for, is doing one thing in that moment. So that's hard for us.
That is hard for us.
Yeah, because of our time travel tendencies.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So is there anything you kind of find that helps you to just do one thing in the moment?
Well, I think there's been a lot of really good ideas so far. Mm-hmm. I like to breathe all the air out of my lungs as far as I can till there's no air. Push all the air out as far as I can, almost to the point where it's I need a gulp of air.
Yes.
And then when I do that and then I gulp that air in, it's called master's breath. It does something to reset the body. It actually, cool. I think in our brainstem, it does.
Can you kind of go through that again? So people
catch that? So, you're exhaling all of the air, or carbon dioxide.
Let's call it air.
Okay. All the air. I'm oxygen. No, all the air from your lungs as far as you can, and you keep pushing and pushing all the air out. Go, 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 go as far as you can.
Yeah.
And then you wait a second, and then you kind of release so that your body draws in air on its own. That's the key. Yes. You have to let the body draw air in almost and it will by itself, because when you let go, it just comes in by itself. And that is the sensation that does a reset for us.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's the body's breathing on its own. It's like a signal.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had never heard of that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to try that. And other simple things that are really counterintuitive for us as Americans. Whatever you're doing, just do that one thing. Don't multitask.
I love that.
Yeah. So if you're washing dishes, wash the dishes.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of us do something while we're listening to a podcast or
recording a podcast?
Recording a podcast, yeah. I remember my wife and I would go on this walk in this really pretty area, and we would be talking. Mm-hmm. And I said, hey, wait, did you hear those birds? And then we just stopped talking and kept walking, and we just listened. Mm. And I said, are these birds always singing like this every day? And it turned out they are.
Wow.
We missed it because we were doing so many other things.
Yep. But that's the story of life, right?
It is. Yeah. Just be in the moment. And the way to do one thing in the moment is whatever you're doing, just do it. If you're going to drive, just drive. If you're going to do the dishes, just do the dishes and be all in with it and focused. Mm-hmm. And I think there is that FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yes.
And what the irony is, we fear we're missing out, but then we multitask, and what do? We miss out on the now.
Yes.
Really ironic.
That is actually. Yeah. I hadn't really thought of it like that.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah. So,
all right.
And I like this quote. When in emotional crisis, whenever we are in emotional crisis, we need to remember that the only pain I have to survive is just this moment.
Yes.
That's so good, isn't it?
Yes.
So we suffer more than is required by calling to mind past suffering and ruminating about potential future suffering and thinking about everything that is not currently happening right now. Yeah. But all that really exists
is right now.
That's pretty freeing.
It is very freeing.
You know what else is freeing?
What?
Taking a vacation. So that takes us to letter V.
Okay.
Take a vacation. Now, we're not saying we have to take this long vacation and go to some exotic destination.
Right.
Taking a vacation, as I was alluding to, can just be taken 5 minutes. You're in a social situation. I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Go take 5 minutes.
I like it.
Take a vacation every night.
Yep.
At about 7:00.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
I love it.
Fork in me, I am done. I can't do anything. I don't want to talk to people.
Yep.
I watch Suits, and I don't want to talk. I just want to eat and watch Suits. Don't want to talk to anybody.
Hey, that sounds great.
I remember one time I came home, and my wife was pretty excited and said, "Hey, the curtains arrived. We're going to put the curtains up tonight."
You're like, "No, hey, I'm not."
Yeah, have fun with that. I am not doing that. And
it's curtains for you, toots.
That's not what I said, but I was kind of thinking it because I had nothing left in the tank.
Yeah.
And had I tried, the
sometimes
real ugly side of me could have come out.
There you go.
And so I had to unapologetically say, I just can't.
Good.
So, you know
Good
what
for
I did?
you.
I watched TV for about an hour. I ate some dinner. Yeah. And I felt refreshed.
Perfect.
And I said, here, let me help you with that.
Aww.
I was at a place where I could do it.
Yep.
But I had to take a vacation first. And
exactly.
no apologies. Now, the important thing is vacationing like this can be avoidance. We have to take vacation so that we can come back to something. Mm-hmm. So this isn't a license to avoid. This is a license to sort of, like you plug your charger into your phone to give it some more juice. That's what we're talking about with taking a vacation. And it's really important.
That makes sense. Sometimes I'll throw my headphones in for a little bit and listen to some music. That's like a little vacation.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if it replenishes you and again prevents you and it's knowing that I can't. If I go and I do this, remember those Snickers commercials?
Yeah.
You're not yourself when you're hungry. You know, when I would totally disagree. I'd say I am. That's me. That's like my worst self. But it's me, right?
Right.
And there is that when we're really depleted. When we're at an 8, 9, 10, that's our worst self. That's going to come out.
Sure.
And we have to be aware of it and say, ooh, I need a vacation. No apologies. I don't know how long I need. I'll come back.
Yep.
I just need some time.
Exactly. I sometimes will look at pictures of my niece and nephews, especially when they're 7, 4, and 4.5 right now.
Yes.
And one's almost 5. But anyway, I will go back and I'll look at pictures of them when they were really little.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still little, but really little.
Yeah.
And it's like a little vacation down memory lane.
It is. That's a great thing that we do. Whatever kind of replenishes us.
Exactly.
As long as we're not avoiding.
Right.
So take a vacation. Now let's close with this.
Okay.
The last one is E, and that stands for encouragement.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
You ever notice how it's easier to encourage others
than ourselves?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
But
Matt, go ahead.
I was just going to probably say the same thing as you, but you've mentioned your encouragement file.
Yes.
Is that, where you keep track of your encouraging things people have said to you so you can read them,
both
right?
times in my life.
Okay.
It's fun because there are things that I do remember.
Yeah.
And there are things from years ago that I have in that. And when I'm feeling down or overwhelmed and I'm into all or nothing thinking and I'm at 8, 9, 10, that encouragement file is super, super helpful. Brings me up again. And So we can keep a file to encourage ourselves. We can leave voicemails or kind of don't delete encouraging ones that come and keep it that way too.
Yep.
But
I like
it's
that.
super. We could write ourselves a note. Like teachers used to do that, like in grade school. Like write a note to yourself that you read later, and when you're an adult, you get that. And
you know what? I'm gonna try this because I use voice memos on my phone. To just kind of write like quote unquote record thoughts and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll try this. I'll report back. I'm gonna record an encouraging message to myself and try to remember to listen to it if I need to.
Love it.
And then I'll report back next time.
Great. Well, we are going to report back to everybody next time, too, as we kind of transition into accepting reality. So we've been talking about skills when we're in that 8, 9, 10 mode, which is a normal part of life. And it's normal that we don't think straight. And it's normal that we're vulnerable and we're going to do things impulsive.
Yep.
All these skills, the tip skill, the stop skill, the self-soothe skill, the improve the moment skills, all of this really designed to help us not act out impulsively when we're real vulnerable. Now we're going to switch next time into how do I accept reality? This is so important. And it's the area of the skill I find clients and myself struggle with the most. And yet it's incredibly needed in order for us to move on in life. So
nice.
We'll dive into that next time. A little primer there.
We got skills on skills on skills.
Yes. Yeah. So
we got the thrills for the skills.
We do. So we hope this has been a thrill for you. Share it with other people if it's been helpful.
Exactly. You can go back and listen to it again if you're distressed.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you as always for listening, and please be sure to leave us a review. While this podcast can't be a replacement for therapy, we hope you enjoyed our discussion today and join us again next time. Nystrom & Associates is always available to those who are struggling. If you find yourself in need of support and help, please check us out at nystromcounseling.com.